Welcome everyone to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at whether or not a stock racing car can do pretty well on a online racing environment. So we're going to be going for the 2020 Lynk & Co number 100 Cyan Racing 03. So yeah, we've got 340 horsepower, not much in the way of weight, but yeah, it's not the best racing car going, so yeah, whether or not it can do any good here, we'll have to see. But yeah, because obviously a lot of cars on this game, a lot of cars that are used online are generally highly modified cars. So yeah, from were stock cars. So whereas this is not a a fully fledged stock car, it's at the end of the day a racing car. It is a stock racing car which isn't perfect. Like I said, its launch isn't particularly great, and once it gets past about 110, 120 mile an hour, it does feel a bit sluggish. But at the end of the day, it does have plenty of handling, got a great amount of downforce, it's really agile, it's pretty sharpish once it does eventually get off the line, and yeah, it is still at the end of the day top of A class. So yeah, let's see what it can do, because obviously a non-upgraded car is typically going to be a little bit under a little bit of an underdog when at the end of the day. I have used stock normal road cars on online races and they haven't typically done brilliantly, so yeah, but stock racing car at the end of the day has had upgrades of its own, just not any upgrades in the game. So what it's going to do, I'm not sure. I think the launch is a big killer of this, even if it's not got the best acceleration after 100 or so miles an hour. It's a launch that's really the Achilles heel of this car, because it's only front wheel drive, it's got a very race bred gearbox, and racing cars like this don't really care about going off the line quickly, because it's a tiniest percent of the a race overall, so why set up a car for that tiny amount of time on a race when it could be an hour or two long. So you can see why a launch on a racing car like this wouldn't be particularly great. So yeah, hopefully it'll load soon though. But yeah, I do like this car. I don't like it as much as the road car that it is based on, because that's a really rather fun compact saloon car, which yeah, really surprised me in how good it was, given never heard of the company before. It's from a country that hasn't really done combustion engine performance cars before. Oh, someone else is also in this car as well, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, we're going to pick up against a Bone Shaker, an Aston Martin Vantage, a Honda Civic, and an Audi RS4. Some of the cars there might well have all-wheel drive. I imagine the other guy in the Lynk & Co has stuck all-wheel drive in his car to lower the PI and upgraded it in some other form. So that's why he's got a really good launch. I'm more interested in seeing what this car can do without any upgrades. Storm dead last for now, but anything can happen in a 3-lap race. I've chosen the road racing series because these are not as open, these aren't always point to point, and I think this car's going to have a bit of a better chance in lapped races more than just point to point races like you get in street races all the time. So yeah, this is definitely a circuit car more than anything. Somebody can't be bothered driving properly, so they have to crash into you. Saying I'm the perfect driver or anything, but you're clearly not doing anything wrong and then smash into the back of you to try and crash you off. It's just not called for. Way too soon there. One problem I always have with racing cars is that I'm used to road cars, racing them more than anything. So I get used to their foibles and their flaws and their lack of agility. Whereas these cars obviously have a huge amount of agility. Because they've got massive amounts of downforce and really focused on handling. Just a case of getting used to its type of handling and its type of driving style. Oh, 2 wheels there. See if we can get a clean lap in. Ooh, bouncy, bouncy. Yeah, this car does have some handling physics that are quite weird. Not sure why it's acting like that. Well, at least we weren't stone dead last. Yeah, it certainly didn't help that we were crashed into at one point, which definitely slowed us down, but obviously I made a few mistakes as well, so I'm not completely fault-free there, so yeah, but still, felt like a pretty quick car, certainly got a faster lap time in than the fellow Lynk & Co, so there is that, but yeah, could have been better, could have been worse, but yeah. Not the best showing for that car, clearly, at the moment, but we'll give it a few more chances. I'm not sure how many races those guys were into. They might have only been into 1 or 2. Because obviously you join these championships midway through. So yeah, that might have been their second race, so give this a few more goes, see what it's capable of. Because at the end of the day, not every car is going to be suitable for every track. This car clearly has such a stiff chassis and such a stiff suspension that it was struggling with some of the road curves and the odd bumps that you get there here and there. So yeah, I think this is a point to point. Yes, it is. Right, so yeah, we were reasonable on a circuit, but let's see how we do on a point to point, which yeah, is a bit of a different kind of race because you're learning as you're going and you don't have any opportunity to learn from any mistakes, because once you pass a certain point you're not going to visit it again because obviously it's that circuit, so yeah, they can be a little bit more difficult, these. thing about this is definitely the fact that the amount of downforce that it's got going on. So yeah, even though it's not had any upgrades by me, the handling is still sublime. Brakes are great as well, which is really useful in a car that doesn't even weigh that much. A bit more involved in the racing this time. The lack of general oomph in this car is clearly killing us on this bit. But at the end of the day, we're able to hold the speed through these kind of corners. So yeah, not as high as the place of last time, but we're ahead of more people, so swings and roundabouts, I guess. But still, hardly an awful finish given out of, what, 10 people or so, or 11 people, so yeah, about halfway mark there, I think. So yeah, that was pretty solid on our part. But yeah, it is showing that even though a race car is obviously set up for, you know, racing and competing and, you know, trying to win championships and the like, it's not necessarily going to succeed against cars that are already properly upgraded outside of their standard stock, you know, setup. So yeah, there are advantages to this car, no doubt about that. The handling is brilliant, the braking is really good, it's got some decent acceleration once it gets past its really rather quite awful launch. But yeah, the lack of general oomph after 120, 130 miles an hour does definitely harm it, and that launch definitely does as well, where obviously in a normal real life championship it wouldn't really matter, but here when you only got really to have a short races, the lack of launch does at the end of the day put you at a disadvantage by a second or two. So just the way it is, I guess. We'll try it out in a race or two more though. I think we've got another championship to go. Yeah, I think that was the third and final race for that lobby. If this will load up, it is. Come on. I'll see you when it starts again, because it's clearly taking a while. Right, so as you can see, we've got 2 lapped races, and then a sprint at the end. So yeah, I've been using all sorts of different cars in the A class, so I've been using the likes of the AMG Hammer, also the Eagle Speedster, which is actually a fairly good car in this class. I think I've downgraded a few others though, but yeah, on the whole, this is a really rather fun class to be driving in. So let's try the Lynk & Co again, see if we can do any better than last time. Which, you know, we didn't do awful at the end of the day. You know, we weren't last, we were ahead of competitors, so and I always am a bit fond of an underdog car on these kind of races anyway, because if you win, then yeah, it's a real triumph, because you're not in a car that's, you know, likely to win or mostly does win at the end of the day. So that always works for me. Feels a bit more satisfying in that regard. Obviously it does come with the downside of the fact that you might not win at all or struggle to, but you know, I find enjoyment out of, you know, difficulty or anything like that. So but it would be nice to get at least a top 3 in this at least once. Not sure that will happen though. Not in this video anyway. Right, come on. It's the worst part about online, it just takes forever to anything to load. But here we go. Who are we, or what are we up against? An M3 GTR, HSV Maloo, a BMW M5, an SXR, another BMW car, the M2, Veloster N, Bone Shaker, and the Ford Escort RS. So some pretty good cars there, even in their stock form. So yeah, and I'm a big fan of the Veloster N. I wish we had more sporty Hyundais. The i20N is a cracking hot hatchback. I love that in this game, or any racing game that I play, quite frankly. No fellow Lynk & Co anymore, so we're the only one. Understeered a bit wildly there. If this is people being intentionally arseholes, but or it's just their internet, but it's annoying either way. And you can see that I'm on the inside, so why the hell are you slamming into me in the first place? I'm just trying to. Some people don't know what racing etiquette means, I swear. I mean, complete arseholes cannot. I know I don't swear often on my videos, but when you do something like that, it's like, why? Why are you even on this game? Go on a GTA Online race if you want to behave like it's a demolition derby. So yeah, we technically would have got 4th there, but yeah, because BMW M2 has the intelligence of a Neanderthal, he can't be bothered racing properly. So yeah, but as you can see, we've got a pretty fast lap there. One of the few under 1:05, so yeah, I'll take solace in that, and the fact that we're ahead of 300 people as well. So yeah, but this is why I rarely do online races. I rarely race online outside of videos for starters, because this is how people just treat the game. They don't treat it like a piece of fun or some entertainment. They treat it like they've got to win no matter what, and they'll do anything to get there, and it's all about just the winning. It's not about the enjoyment at all, and it just annoys me. So yeah, sorry for swearing there or whatever, but it just does my head in. That people just can't take enjoyment in the whole fun of competing, rather than, you know, just taking fun out of what the end result is, basically. At the end of it, what I get from it is, who's going to remember the fact that you just got 5th place there for crashing into someone? No one. But if you got enjoyment out of the race, you know, you enjoy the whole competitive spirit, then that's something that you can remember. something that other people would have enjoyed at the same time, and they remember it. But all now I'm going to remember is the fact that he crashed into me, and that's all that will come out of that one, unfortunately. So yeah. But regardless, let's see what the Lynk & Co can do on a, well, I guess a proper circuit on this game. This isn't a road circuit. Someone spun out. Someone's crashing into me because I can't do racing properly. Okay then, vanished. The speed through the corners, make up for any lack of speed on the straights. Well, fairly clean third lap there, but only because I wasn't around anyone else. But at least I'm not getting crashed into at the end. Someone else is getting a measly 6th place or whatever. But yeah, the Lynk & Co there is a little bit showing its lack of, edge to it, really. It's got the handling, got the braking, got the, mid-range acceleration, but it just doesn't have the launch and the kind of top speed after 120 to really make the most of its handling, basically. So yeah, we'll do the sprint race just because it's short, and yeah, I want to see again what this can do when it's not a lapped race, and we'll end it there. So yeah, but hopefully we'll have a clean race for this final one. Won't be expecting one though, because yeah, we've yet to really have one yet. So. But that's the nature of online racing. Sometimes you get really good ones, and sometimes you just get really bad ones. Mostly the latter, unfortunately, in my experience, but that's just the way it goes, I guess. You open up racing to everyone on a certain game, and you're bound to get a lot of the bad apples. But it was the same with Forza Motorsport 7, so the more things change, the more they stay the same, eh? Yeah, this is still a good racing car though. I can see why it did as well as it did, given it's got a fair decent amount of power and not much in the way of weight. Just so happens that on a more arcade and simulation kind of game, that a racing car isn't quite as successful as you'd expect. But I still get plenty of enjoyment out of A-class and B-class racing, so there's not exactly like a lack of cars to choose from that I enjoy in these races, even if people racing against aren't particularly great. You see it just really lacks the oomph, this kind of rate of speed. And you get people doing that. I've lost the idea of what brakes are. I mean, it's literally on your left trigger finger. It's not difficult. Sadly, these short races don't elicit the best racing, to be honest. As you can see, we're already nearly 3/4 of the way there. At least we ended with a top 5 and got a little bit of vengeance on the arsehole in the M2. So yeah, there we go. Lynk & Co. Fun enough car, but not the greatest to race in. I don't know how it will perform in the class above this, because obviously then you're dealing with, you know, your supercars, your hypercars and the like, but regardless, it's still a fun enough car to race online, and yeah, it can elicit some enjoyable racing when you get the right kind of people and the right kind of circuits. So yeah, that's my opinion on the car. I do like it in, you know, the normal single player game, and it does have its part, some elements going for it online as well, but it's definitely a little bit outclassed in comparison to the upgraded vehicles that you're going up against. But I imagine if you went up against other cars that were stock or in the top end of A-class, you'd do well, but with the upgraded cars, unfortunately, that's not the case. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!